Hello, my name's Jo Tinworth and I'm in the picture room at Sir John Soane's Museum. Today I'm going to tell you a little bit about one of my favourite paintings in the whole museum, which is the second in Hogarth's series, Humours of an Election. The paintings were inspired by the 1754 Oxfordshire election, which was a byword for corruption and debauchery. The county and town of Oxfordshire had been under Tory tenure for over 40 years, when in 1754 the Whigs decided to have a go at taking it from them. And the four canvases perfectly describe the political process as Hogarth saw it. This painting is the second in the series. It's called Canvassing for Votes, and it's set in the fictional town of Guzzledown, which probably tells you all you need to know about the state of the electoral process in 18th century England. Guzzledown is the place where Mr. Punch is notionally the candidate, as you can see from this banner here. And Guzzletown is depicted by Hogarth as having three inns, and they're meant to represent the three political states of the nation. They didn't really have the two-party system then, but it was an embryonic form of it. Here you've got the Royal Oak. This is where the Tories have got their stronghold. Tories would have been drawn from the landed gentry, generally. At the back here, you've got the Crown Inn, also known as the Excise Office, because the Whigs were more well known for having high taxes, and in fact for trying to tax the landed gentry, hence why the Whigs and the Tories didn't really get on. To the right here, you've got the Portobello, which is meant to indicate the independents, or probably a better way of saying it is indicate the people who disagreed with both Whigs and Tories and felt they were both terrible. And in fact, that is what Hogarth is showing us here in this painting. You can see in the foreground, there is a voter, a 40 shilling freeholder, so someone who had to have 40 shillings worth of freehold property in order to justify his vote. That would have been about 5% of the country, only men. And in Oxford, that, for example, meant that only around 4,000 people could vote in the Oxfordshire election of 1754. And he's taking bribes from electoral agents for both the Whigs and the Tories. He's got his hands out and he's literally grasping at those coins with a very snide look on his face. And so he's the sort of central protagonist here. And what you can see is Hogarth commenting on the chap in the middle, in as much as here you have the Royal Oak, the Battle of Worcester. King Charles ran away from the battle and hid in the Royal Oak in 1651. Parliament sort of chasing the king away. And in front of it, the banner that's showing Punch, almost a caricature of a Punch and Judy man, scattering this money to the electorate. Underneath, a depiction of the Treasury literally pouring money into wagons to go out into the countryside to buy votes. So that Parliament, holding the King to account 100 years ago, is now itself, by the 1750s, truly corrupt. You can see the Tory candidate here with the gold braid on his coat. He's rushed down from the inn where he's working really hard at trying to canvass votes. In fact, he's entertaining two ladies and he's come outside to buy them some trinkets from a peddler. But as with everything Hogarth does, and the reason why his modern moral subjects were so interesting to his contemporaries, there's a subtext that would have been really modern and relevant to the people in the 18th century who would have been viewing this painting. You can see on the left here the red lion eating a fleur-de-lis, and this is the red lion that would have been the figurehead of a ship belonging to Admiral Lord Anson, who was a famous admiral, won lots of battles against the French, and when he came back to England, he was promoted, he was given lots of money and lots of plaudits, and he took everything he was given. He rose to become First Lord of the Admiralty, and he used some of his prize money to buy electoral control of Lichfield. On this side here, you can see these two chaps, and they are sort of sketching out the Battle of Portobello, which was won by Admiral Vernon, who also came back to England, refused all the prizes, refused to be corrupted, didn't take a title, and went on to become an MP, where, as a sort of salty old sea dog, he held the government to account for many years and was a thorn in their side on many issues. So the contrast here between the corrupt and the non-corrupt admiral would have been evident to anyone looking at the painting. And I think what Hogarth's done brilliantly is to condense all that into one canvas with such a phenomenal painterly style. I could look at this all day.